This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a Dunedin cafe reckons they've got the jump on the competition because they went out to get their own supplies from Bluff. The World Kneeboarding Championships are currently underway at beaches across Dunedin. And the Kaiapoi River Carnival and Boat Show was held on a stunning Waimakariri day. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. The Bluff oyster harvesting and eating season has begun. One Dunedin cafe thinks it's got the jump on the competition after the owner made a couple of trips to Bluff.
Shucking brilliant. Dunedin's best cafe is ready for the start of the Bluff oyster season, especially as owner Jessica Marks chose to collect the cafe's supply straight from the source.
Yes, we went down yesterday afternoon. The first harvesting was this morning. They went out about midnight last night. So luckily we could get them today and bring them back before lunch for service about 12:30, 1 o'clock today.
She brought 50 dozen of the sought-after shellfish back to the cafe. Marks says there's typically a bit of a feeding frenzy of customer demand as her fourth Bluff oyster season at Best Cafe begins.
This is our busiest time of the year. March is most definitely our busiest month, and April is following soon after.
She says they've got a good relationship with the oyster supplier, and while it's early days, she believes this season's oysters are of a very high standard.
I'd like to think that they're getting a bit bigger each year, but a few comments from the customers are saying that they tasted beautiful, very fresh of course, and yeah, fingers crossed.
Marks took over in 2017 as owner-operator of the cafe, which her great-grandfather Patrick Collins had established in 1932. Barnes Wild Bluff Oysters manager Graham Wright says the weather at the start of the season on Sunday was better than the corresponding time of the previous year. Marks agrees the weather does affect supply.
It's all weather dependent, totally. So it all comes down to whether or not we can get the oysters in. It's always disappointing when we can't. And obviously the demand outstrips the supply. So if we have a good week, the weather's been great, we can sell a lot of oysters, definitely.
Bluff oysters are typically served au natural on a half shell or battered and fried. Marks says locals like them fried, while tourists seem to prefer the southern delicacy in its naked glory. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A man has admitted to stabbing a miniature horse to death just weeks after the anniversary of the brutal slaying. Waitati resident Reginald Robert Ozan appeared in the Dunedin District Court today, where he admitted to the charge of willfully ill-treating an animal. On the night of the 17th of February last year, Ozan entered a paddock by Pitt Street. He was armed with a sharp implement and stabbed the horse known as Star 47 times. The horse was tethered at the time. Despite receiving veterinary care, Star died the following night. Until today, Ozan had vehemently denied stabbing the 11-year-old miniature horse. Name suppression, which had been in place to protect his fair trial rights, was lifted by Judge Michael Crosby today. Despite the order, the Waitati man has been known to the wider community as he spoke to the Otago Daily Times before he was charged. The world's best kneeboarders will be hitting the waves at Dunedin's St Clair Beach this week. Competitors from across the globe are set to ride the surf as they compete in the World Kneeboarding Championships.
Kneeboarders from across the globe have converged on Dunedin this week to compete in the annual World Kneeboarding Championships being held at St Clair Beach.
We have 80 participants in the event and 60 from overseas, predominantly from South Africa, Australia and the US, but also from Portugal, Tahiti and Puerto Rico. So quite a mix of surfers that are really enjoying Dunedin.
Kneeboarding is just one of 3 wave riding codes, the other 2 being surfing and bodyboarding. Contest director Ben Kennings says the sport requires riders to apply core strength and use their upper body a lot more than in conventional surfing.
Kneeboarding is surfing, but obviously they stand on their knees or they kneel down, whereas a surfer that stands on their feet, obviously a little bit different. Some of the turns are different, but the criteria is still the same. So it's just about really going up and doing really big turns and making the most of the waves and finding the best waves as well. So it's important to sort of stand out from the crowd where, for the judges to get the good scores.
The week-long event started with an official opening featuring bagpipes and kapa haka before the participants committed themselves to a week filled with kneeboarding in the Dunedin surf.
So we had the opening ceremony, which was on Saturday, and then yesterday was the official start of the competition, so we've got 6 full days.
The championships are set to run until Saturday. In Dunedin, the South today.
Talk about snail mail. 2 central Dunedin mailboxes were left uncleared for the month of February. This post box in Dunedin's George Street wasn't emptied for around a month. In a statement sent out this morning, New Zealand Post says it's very sorry the mailbox at 266 George Street wasn't cleared for mail for the month of February. This afternoon, New Zealand Post confirmed the portable post box in the Golden Centre Mall outside Paper Plus was also not cleared during February. A New Zealand Post spokesperson says they're investigating the incident and they aim to make sure it doesn't happen again. The organisation says the box has now been cleared and all its contents are being delivered. A pair of flyboarders stole the show at Sunday's annual River Carnival and Boat Show in Kaiapoi. Beau and Gemma Weston of Queenstown have been performing stunts across the world at flyboard shows as well as for feature films.
Flyboarder Beau Weston and his sister Gemma put on an acrobatic show at the Kaiapoi River Carnival and Boat Show on Sunday. The performance included seeing Gemma, who was the world's flyboarding champion in 2015, high-fiving spectators on the bridge.
There was a lot of crowd interaction. I couldn't high-five everyone, had to watch where the ski was going, but...
Gemma's brother Beau says their flyboards get their propulsion from the unmanned jet ski nearby, with each of them having a remote-controlled throttle.
We use the power from the jet ski to propel us up into the air, and we've got little wireless remotes so we can control the throttle ourselves.
Having a strong background in doing stunts for cinema, both of them are now in demand to help out in overseas film productions.
Most of the time you won't really recognise us because we'll either be doubling people or we'll be a lot of background stunts. So we'll be filling in the background or we'll be behind the scenes making sure everything's safe. Beau, he does a lot of rigging as well, so he helps people fly through the air or for explosions, that sort of stunt.
Other events on the day included a display by champion jet boater Simon Gibbons, as well as demonstration races by the Cure Boating Club of Kaiapoi, which is one of New Zealand's oldest rowing clubs, and even tiny radio-controlled model boats being taken out for a spin. And Gemma gives the thumbs up to the suggestion flyboarding become part of the aquatic park being proposed for Kaiapoi.
I reckon most places should take up flyboarding. It's a pretty awesome sport and everyone that tries it, they love it.
In Kaiapoi, the South today.
Still to come on the South today. We look at how the coronavirus is affecting New Zealand's dairy industry, and we meet a Filipino national in Balclutha who's received a nasty birthday surprise from Immigration New Zealand. See you after the break.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hasn't been much of a summer, has it? Until now. It's hot, it's getting warm, it's great. This is the time of year we love this weather. So we have a lot of surplus stock and we want to clear it at real hot prices. 50% off anything that's short sleeve. T-shirts, short sleeve shirts, polos, everything short sleeve, half price.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
At Alex Campbell Menswear, get them while it's hot.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance fairs. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Ngā mai anō, welcome back. Dairy exports in February are predicted to be 19% lower than they would have been without COVID-19 or the coronavirus. That's according to provisional data from Stats NZ released yesterday. However, the government statistic agency says the numbers are not a forecast, rather they are intended as a helpful guidepost. While the amount of exports to China has been less than the dairy industry had been hoping for, the value of the exports is about the same as this time last year. This is because present dairy prices are higher than a year ago. Other export industries affected include meat and seafood, the exports of which are about half of what they were last year. A Balclutha migrant marked her 21st birthday yesterday, but there were few celebratory smiles to be seen. Instead, she and her family spent the day coming to terms with an Immigration New Zealand decision which will enact her deportation in August.
Well, we're almost broke, financially broke. We have to pay the lawyer $16,000, and you just give your all, you know, and you hope for the best, and it's heartbreaking because as a parent you do everything for your children.
Despite trying everything, a Filipino family living in Balclutha have been told their 21-year-old daughter Maya Matubis faces deportation in August. Arriving in New Zealand in 2016, the family eventually chose Balclutha as an affordable place to buy a home. Both parents now work at the corrections facility in nearby Milton, and their daughter has been offered a university scholarship, but the dreams of her staying in New Zealand are now over.
I didn't have the right visa, and they kept calling me as well, like not just Auckland University, Massey and Otago. They're like, so like, when are you gonna sign up for your classes? You missed orientation, etc., etc. And I was like, I was worried that I would miss my slot because I didn't know what to tell any of them, and I was just, and at the time I applied for media because I wanted to be a journalist, and it's just frustrating because I just really wanted to go to school.
Maya had a liver transplant when she was 1 year old and relies on immunosuppressant medication and doctors' checkups costing about $3,000 a year. Her family have paid for this since her arrival in 2016, and they've offered to continue to pay, but Immigration New Zealand says Maya does not meet necessary health requirements. The family says they were told by immigration they should expect to have to leave their daughter behind.
And as a family, it's normal for immigrants to leave their family behind.
Yeah, they also mentioned that there's no special circumstances in that because that is actually the life of a migrant. So
like it's normal.
So I don't know.
I rebuke that.
It's like, okay.
Clutha Mayor Brian Cadogan says the decision is callous and punitive, and that Clutha is desperately short of people to fill a glut of jobs. Our local economy and the nation's economy need people like Maya.
She wants to work, she has a dream, she wants to have purpose. And it's frustrating because you know, as a parent, you know the potential of your child, but you can't do anything about it.
Immigration New Zealand were unable to respond for comment. In Balclutha, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, recent rain is rubbish news at Fox Glacier, and in the weather we check if rain is ahead. See you soon.
Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today. Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. For a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Hasn't been much of a summer, has it? Until now. It's hot, it's getting warm, it's great. This is the time of year we love this weather. So we have a lot of surplus stock and we want to clear it at real hot prices. 50% off anything that's short sleeve. T-shirts, short sleeve shirts, polos, everything short sleeve, half price.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
At Alex Campbell Menswear, get them while it's hot.
episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Thanks for staying with us. Dunedin's Octagon Experience trial is about to enter its final stage, with partial closure of the lower octagon starting on the 9th of March. Unlike the first two stages of the trial, the central carriageway and upper octagon will be available to all traffic. Cruise ship shuttles will again be allowed to use the carriageway to drop off and pick up passengers. This has been a point of contention with octagon businesses. The final phase will conclude with a big party hosted by the Dunedin Fringe and Dunedin Multi-Ethnic Council on the 21st of March, and the octagon will return to business as usual from the following week. A Fox Glacier guide is saying she's seen more rubbish being exposed following a recent rainfall. This comes after a mammoth effort by the Army and volunteers to clean the river following the washout of a disused landfill last year. Kelsey Porter of Fox Glacier says she's been making regular visits since last winter's cleanup and recently spotted more rubbish being exposed. Westland Mayor Bryce Smith says council staff are regularly monitoring the site. He also says a lot of rubbish that got buried under the riverbed during last year's storms will eventually come to the surface over several years. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A Dunedin cafe reckons they've got the jump on the competition because they went to get their own supplies from Bluff in time for lunch. The World Kneeboarding Championships are currently underway at beaches across Dunedin, with competitors coming from around the globe. And the Kaiapoi River Carnival and Boat Show was held on a stunning Waimakariri day, featuring all manner of aquatic fun and games. And now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, one of many views of this morning's excellent sunrise over Dunedin, taken from St Clair. Now looking at the situation, a cold southwesterly airflow eases tomorrow, with any early showers clearing and winds decreasing. Temperatures remain cold through the day. Watch out for frosts inland tomorrow night. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at cloudy skies with 19 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a cloud, showers and 20 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura can expect the odd cloud, showers and 16 degrees. Christchurch should prepare for cloudy skies and 14, while Ashburton can expect some patches of blue among the grey skies, rain and 13 degrees. To the southern towns, those in the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect decreasing southwesterlies and mostly fine weather. 13 degrees for the Catlins, Balclutha and Gore, while Lumsden's one warmer on 14 degrees. Heading to central Otago, most centres in this area are due for light southwesterlies and mostly fine skies. Wanaka and Queenstown head for 15, Alexandra aims for 16, and Te Anau you have decreasing southwesterlies, mostly fine weather and 13 degrees. To the northern towns. On the coast, Timaru and Oamaru are due to have decreasing southwesterlies, mostly clear skies. Timaru 15, Oamaru 14. Looking inland, Twizel and Omarama are due for light southwesterlies, mostly fine weather, and it's 16 degrees for you both. In Dunedin, strong southwesterlies tonight with skies clearing and an overnight low of 10 degrees. Fine with sunny periods and scattered cloud tomorrow. Fresh, cold southwesterlies easing slowly, a high of 13 and a low of 6. Still cool on Thursday with mostly sunny skies and moderate northeasterlies, a high of 15 and a low of 10 degrees. and in Invercargill. Showers tonight with fresh cold southwesterlies and an overnight low of 9 degrees. Showers clearing and becoming fine and sunny during the morning tomorrow, with fresh cold southwesterlies easing during the day, a high of 13 and a low of 5. Fine and sunny on Thursday with light winds, pleasant daytime temperatures, a high of 17 and a low of 7 degrees. That's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.